Hi all, it is a great pride for us to represent the AHC Family Association of Europe and to speak about the French AHC Association family. We are here to speak on behalf of all the national AHC Europe Association, and we are here to present to you the work of our association and the European Association. To begin, we will start to speak about the French AHC Association. My name is Rémi Oran. I'm 43 years old. I am the father of two children, and my daughter, she is 13 years old, and she is suffering alternating hemiplegia of childhood with ATP1A3 mutation. And I am the president of the French AHC Family Association since now 4 years. At my side,
I am Mirjana PAVLICek. I have three daughters, and my oldest one is 31 years old. She's as well affected with AHC and with ATP1A3 mutation. I am with the association since 1996, and Remy will tell you more about the French association.
our association is made up of 67 AHC persons and their families. The goals of the French AHC Association. They are represented by these three pillars: gathering all AHC patients, supporting scientific research, informing the families. To gather all AHC patients, that's a reality. Living with a rare disease means having isolated families. However, with our social network, our website, our annual general meeting, our cohesion weekends, we are able to create a community including everyone. It's important for us to have all the AHC patients in our association. But despite all our communication actions, there are still families out of our association. Sometimes it's because due to a personal choice of the family. Of course, we have to respect the decision of the family, but we are working to have always a contact with these families. Sometimes the family doesn't want to be a part of the association, but if there is any study, they are able to participate. The other possibility is because of the existence of our AHC association is not known by medical team or family. That's why we are working on that point and we are making ourselves more visible. The idea is as soon as there is a AHC patient in our country, we want that he was aware of the existence of our association. And the last point is sometimes because after a medical team advice, the idea of the doctor, the professor, is to preserve the family. And we really want that the medical team to give the contact of our association. It's really, really, really important. Informing the families.
Uh, Many families are not aware of the advancing of the understanding of the disease, about the ongoing studies and their status, the status findings and corresponding medical publication, and the upcoming medical projects. We really would like to inform them about this, and it's an important goal for our association.
The last goal of the French AHC Association is to support scientific research. First, of course, the research of funding, the money, of course. We have membership fees. We are research private donors. The families are organizing a lot of things like sales organization, lottery, raffle, and there are many other various actions. Of course, we need money. We need money to launch the study. The other thing to support scientific research, of course, is to select the necessary AHC patients for studies. As soon as we were contacted by a professor, by a doctor for any research, any study, the president or the vice president, me or Mirjana, we are contacting all the families, and the idea is that the maximum of AHC patients are able to participate to any studies. For example, our French AHC Family Association has been involved recently in AHC scale study organizing by Professor De Grandis, Professor Fons, and Dr. Panagiotakaki. We have been involved in the behavior trouble in AHC study organizing by Dr. Chomet. And actually, we are involved in the AHC02 study, Occitane study, organizing by Professor Flamand-Rose, Dr. Gras, and Dr. Verniaz. But there are a reality. Our association, like any other association, has limits. As you can see, there are more and more and more studies on AHC. That's really a good news, of course, for our family. But for the association, it's more and more expensive. And without money, we are not able to launch this study. Another limit is that all these scientific studies need more and more AHC patients. It's not because we have 50, 60, or 70 patients that we are able to gather all these patients for one study. So it is another limit of our association. In conclusion, support scientific studies is more and more complicated for our national association. The solution? We have to work all together. We have to be a part of a bigger association, and this is AHC Europe. The more we are, the more powerful we will be. AHC Europe, who are we? AHC Federation of Europe was created by Mr. Sigurdur Johansson, that everyone knows as Siggy. Siggy is the president of the Iceland AHC Family Association. AHC Federation of Europe was created the 28th of February 2013. It was the International Day of the Rare Disease. At the beginning, the first board of AHCFE was composed of Siggy as president and Mr. Tom O'Brien, Mr. Filippo Foncini, Mrs. Anna Cockens, and Mr. Albert Villamala. There were 10 AHC national associations: AHC Association of Iceland, Spain, Great Britain, Denmark, Germany, Poland, France, Belgium and the Netherlands, Ireland and Italy. Last year, in 2024, AHC Federation of Europe changed its name into AHC Europe to evolve as a stronger, fully fledged association. It's really important. The message that we want to send to everyone, to all the family, to all the community, we don't want to be each country for himself. We want to work all together as a unique association, in fact. And today, AHC Europe is made up 14 AHC national associations with Sweden, Portugal, Bulgaria, and Austria. We have video conference meetings every 2 or 3 months. We regularly communicate via WhatsApp. We exchange very, very, very often. If there is any problem, if there is any study, if there is any project, every member of the board are communicating with all the others. I will show you quickly the different countries of AHC Europe. First, Iceland, represented by Mr. Sigurd Johansson, with one AHC patient. The Ireland, with President Mr. Tom O'Brien. The Great Britain, with Mrs. Catherine Bale as president. France, as myself as president, Mr. Rémi ORHANT. And as you can see, we have AHC patient, but we have CAPOS and RDP patient. Netherlands and Belgium, represented by Mrs. Nienke Lenz as president. Germany Association with Mr. Ralf Müller. Poland with Mrs. Ilona Skibinska-Mamzer as president. Once again, you can see there is one CAPOS family. The Denmark with Mrs. Sofia Madsen as president. Sweden with Mrs. Carina Johansson as president. And this is a new AHC association family, Portugal, with Mr. Alvaro Quintas as president. Spain with Mrs. Richard Vranks as president. And as you can see, 23 AHC patients and 2 RGP patients. Italia with Mr. Luca Fiorillo as president. 55 AHC patients, 1 RECA and 1 CAPOS. Another new AHC family association, Austria, with Mrs. Verena Haas as president, with 5 AHC patients. Bulgaria, with Mr. Anton Katsarov as president. For your information, there is other country without AHC family association, but we created contact with different families in these countries. Serbia, Switzerland, Finland, Czech Republic, and Slovakia. It represents approximately 10 AHC patients. As I explained to you, before we were AHC Federation of Europe, and separately we are less powerful. But all together, AHC Europe, all together, here we are. We are more than 300 AHC patients. We have 3 RGP, 1 RECA, and 4 CAPOS. As you can see today, we have 4 AHC associations that includes families with other ATP1A3 disease than AHC. Mirjana will present you the board of AHC Europe.
Within our board, we have Sigi, we have Filippo, Bridget, Ninka, Abhishek, Anton, Alvaro, and myself. We have created several groups, working groups. One is dedicated to communication, with another one related to the research, another for the fundraising, one for the family support, and one related to admin and finance. It's important as well to have a group dedicated to information and technology and a project group.
What are the possibilities of AHC Association of Europe? First, we are able to increase our funding possibilities. And of course, that's a real important point. To explain to you, I will take 2 examples. First, the first example I will present to you is the O2 AHC study, Occitan study. When the French AHC Association was contacted by Professor Emmanuel Flamand-Rose, who is in charge of this study, of course, he needs money. And of course, the French AHC Association give him the most money as we can. But as I told you, the studies are more and more expensive. And as president, I wasn't able to give him the money he needed. So I contacted Sigi and I explained him the project and I told him I need money. Sigi contacted all the AHC Family National Association. He presented the project. He was able to make the link between Professor Falamand Rose and myself to answer the different questions. And of course, some AHC National Association wasn't able to give money, but there are a lot of AHC National AHC Association who were able to give money. And in the end, we are able to give more money for this study. And in this study, something that I think is really important is that despite all this help, we were not able to collect the necessary money. So we took the decision to contact the American Association. And they helped us. It was really a work all together, an effort to collect the money to be able to launch the study. And that is really, really a good point for every study on AHC. And in the end, O2 AHC study has been funded by 8 associations, 5 from Europe and 3 from America. Another example is the neuronal hyperexcitability study from Professor Arndt van den Magdenberg from University of Leiden. Of course, he contacted both American and European association because he needed money to launch his study. AHC Foundation, Cure AHC, RAROP, and AHC Europe, of course, we say yes. We are working all together. We are collecting money all together. And because of this common work, we were able to collect the money that Professor Arndt van den Magdenberg need. And with all these efforts, great, the study is on. The neuronal hyperexcitability study has been funded by 11 associations, 3 Americans, 1 Canadian, and 7 Europeans. These 2 studies are really a good example to show you the possibilities of AHC Europe and the work with the American Association. The other problem is to gather more AHC patients. And once again, I will present to you 2 examples. The Scale AHC study from Professor Carmen Fons, Professor Elisa De Grandis, and Dr. Panagio Takaki. They contacted us and they said that they need the maximum of AHC patients for the study. They contacted the Spanish AHC Association and they gathered patients in Barcelona. Then they contacted the Italian AHC Association family and they gathered patients in hospital of Rome. And then they contacted the French AHC Association family and we gathered AHC patients in Lyon. And in the end, once again, great, the study is on. Scale AHC gathered 40 AHC patients, 11 from Spain, 12 from Italy, and 17 from France. The other example is the O2 AHC study. Once again, Professor Emmanuel Flamand-Rose and Dr. Panagio Takaki need the most of AHC patients. And when they contacted me, I do my best, but the problem is that I'm missing AHC patients for this study. So we took the decision to contact the Spanish AHC Association. And Bridget helped me help Professor Flamand-Rose and Dr. Panagio Takaki. She contacted Professor Carmen Fons, and all together we were able to gather Spanish AHC Association in a French study. And that's a real good example of the possibility of AHC Europe. Once again, great, the study is on. AO2 AHC study gathered 24 AHC patients, 19 from France and 5 from Spain. So our missions. First, advocacy for patients and families of AHC and ATP183 disease.
It is done by using social media and speaking during congresses and distributing information about what is done within Europe.
After education and awareness of AHC and ATP183 disease. Of course, we have website, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and we have a lot of things in mind, and one of them could be to hire a freelancer to inform families. Another mission is to progress research for AHC and ATP183 disease. Of course, as I told you, we collect money and we are able to launch this study with this money. We are able to gather as most as AHC patients as possible. Another thing that we have in mind, and we are going to work on that, is maybe to launch calls for scientific research, to create a document that we will send to the doctors and to propose money in order to launch a study. Support for European AHC and ATP183 organizations. We have very, very, very good relationship with North America, AHC Foundation, Cure AHC, Rare Hope, For Henri, and the Canadian Association. ATT Now group has been creating, and we have doctors and families for both continents that are working all together. With South America and Asia, there is AHC Association, and we actually need to work all together. But in Africa and Oceania, there is no AHC association. And I send a message to all these families. If you are able to create some AHC association, do it, and we have to work all together. And the last point, and I will let Mirjana speaking about, is to connect AHC and ATP183 families throughout Europe.
And within one of our groups, we were thinking about organizing a European family meeting. But it's good to gather and to see people, each other face to face is always better. We were thinking about developing a manual for AHC families for providing them with really useful information on both for their social life and about research, about how to take care of their child, and giving some tips and tricks, because sometimes it's not easy.
To conclude, for the AHC families without AHC National Association, we need to be all together to cure AHC and the other ATP183 disease. Let's fight for our children by creating your association and joining us. For example, I think, of course, about Australia. Australia is a very big country, and of course, there are a lot of AHC patients. If Australia is able to create association, it will be very great for us to work all together. And for the scientific community, it's really simple. AHC Europe is able to gather more AHC patients and collect more money for studies on AHC. So if you have any projects in mind, any study, any idea on AHC, don't hesitate. I insist, don't hesitate. Just contact AHC Europe via your national AHC association. We are here for you. We will do the best. All the families are doing the best to help you to cure our children. This is a message that I want to send. Families need scientific community and association. Association need families and scientific community. But scientific community needs families and AHC association. We are a team and we are working all together. And I will finish with this sentence from the former French AHC Association Family President, Dominique Poncelin. He always said that 1 year for scientific research can pass quickly, but it corresponds to 365 days of suffering and distress for patients and their families. Thank you so much for listening to us, and really don't hesitate to contact us. We are here for you.
Thank you.